kind of ambition we need in this industry.
Yeah, put your fucking safety glasses on.
I didn't do it. It was a renter.
How do I ever live without a steering wheel warmer?
I found it.
I was literally screaming at the bike. I'm like, turn, damn it, turn. Right?
All right, well, welcome to the Ark of Covenant Podcast, Season 2, Episode 2, where we never know where we're going to end up or where we are.
Surrounded by couches. I can't really say anything because my living room, I'm doing this off of a pool table. I'm like sitting at a pool table. I ain't no better.
Right.
Well, that's not a bad looking hotel room.
No, it's a long-term stay, so I got a little kitchenette and stuff. So I make my food.
You can go in there and microwave it.
I got a stove and some pots and pans and dishes.
So what's our discussions of the day?
I don't know. Well, Dave saw it already. I moved all of my stuff out of my garage and set up in my shed.
What?
Yeah.
I saw a video with you talking about a shed, but
He started
I wasn't
shed.
sure. The shed life? Your wife kicked you out?
Not exactly. She's looking at getting rid of so she has a small car that she uses to and from work and for trips around locally. And then we have our family car that we use for traveling. Well, we're looking at trading in the family car, which is a Volkswagen Atlas, for a newer...
Ferrari.
Yeah, right. For a newer, nicer car. As soon as I
Lamborghini
found
Pan America?
What?
Lamborghini Pan America?
Lamborghini Pan America.
Yeah.
Mike's
Not
a
a
car
Harley?
guy.
No,
Mike's a car guy.
it's a SUV.
Isn't that the Urus?
I think
Yaris?
Lamborghini. I think they make farm equipment too.
They do.
They do.
Or Ferrari.
That's how they started. Yeah, he was the CEO of Lamborghini Tractors. He bought a Ferrari, and he didn't like the Ferrari, and Ferrari kind of told him to piss off. And then he said, "Well, fine, I'm going to make a car that's better," and he did.
Nice. Can't argue with that kind of ambition.
Right? It's the kind of ambition we need in this industry.
Yeah, I wish I would have had that kind of ambition in life.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I moved all the stuff out of the garage so we could park both cars in the garage and put all the stuff in the shed. Plus, it keeps all the dust down in the garage so I don't make a mess of things. I just needed to kind of fix the shed a little bit.
Fire truck's going off. Fire alarm.
I hear it.
You can hear it
So
too.
we adding an addition to the shed now?
I'm going to probably build a new shed in the next couple of years. This will do for now. It's a 10 by 16, which is enough room for me. But we're going to end up building another one. This one's good for now.
We were having this conversation because I had asked you. I was like, "What are you going to be welding inside your wooden shed?" You're like, "Yeah."
Yeah. Just be careful.
I'll give it a 10-minute fire watch, and I'll go in.
Yep.
It's the worst thing gonna happen. I'll burn up. I get another shed.
When I worked for Rick, he had a shed at his place, and we did a lot of work in that shed, I will say. Knock on wood.
Well, I've
Yeah.
welded in sheds plenty of times. Never had an issue.
Oh, I'm sure. I've caught a
Just
lot
be
of rags.
mindful. Yeah. You just got to be mindful. All right, so maybe we should jump into the news.
You put your fucking safety glasses on.
I gotta see my phone because I have it on my phone, not on my computer. I literally logged onto my computer to talk to you guys. I haven't talked to my computer.
You have to be like me and just have your constant safety squints on.
Yeah.
I got my safety glasses on today, too. Look.
I see that. I see you got your little. I like them. Your little mesh side screens.
Yeah.
It's like old school.
School.
I need to get new ones, though. These are really
What's
scratched
up behind you, Matt? There, Mike. You got cats?
Behind me?
You got
Oh,
cats
yeah,
too?
One cat,
Oh, so
yeah.
Man, you're like one animal away from a good nursery song about the farm. There.
Old McDonald.
Alright, I'm gonna let one of you guys go because I'm still getting this up.
All right.
One of you guys go.
Yeah.
I can go. We've got a theme going with these news articles this week. I'm going to share... Where's it at? There it is. Yeah. So this happened in 2023. Now, this is the NTSB report that came out that finalized everything that happened. So on December 25th, you guys see this? See me scrolling and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So on December 25th, Christmas Day 2023, the Genius Star 11 was in the North Pacific Ocean with heavy weather. It was carrying a bunch of lithium-ion batteries, had everything strapped down, and was proceeding while they were going, they noticed there was a fire in the cargo hold, and the onboard fire extinguishing system went off. The boat redirected to the nearest harbor, which was Alaska. En route to the Dutch harbor, the fire started again in a second cargo hold. The crew had to externally cool the cargo hold using fire hoses, and after the vessel anchored in Dutch harbor, the fire was determined to be extinguished. There were no injuries and no pollution reported. Damage from both fires was estimated to be 3.8 million.
Wow.
And the reason why we are talking about this is because what they determined. Now, there was a bunch of things that caused this. Just like a plane crash, there are many problems that happen before something. Yeah, there's no one thing to blame here. But this is what happened. December 25th was a fire way out here in the international waters. They went up and had a second fire here, and then they went in the Dutch harbor. So these are the batteries. These giant battery packs. These are the things that caught fire. That what happened is they tipped over and arced up against the steel wall of the cargo hold and overheated and caught fire. That's what they determined. The amount of energy that these lithium batteries hold is ridiculous. It's kind of scary, actually. So here's the cargo hold. This is cargo hold 2 where the fire was, and also this was the first one. I think this was the second one.
So were these like really big batteries, or were these like a whole bunch of small lithium batteries?
Well, so they are big battery packs, but they are all consist of those 18650 cells that are all welded together. So they were big battery packs, but they had the individual cells in them. One of the failures was a weld failure on the D-ring that the straps were hooked onto, and it pulled off the wall. There's one right there. Now, this one's not the broken one. But here's the cargo hold that one of the fires was in. You can see everything shifted around and moved. I mean, you can see the mess that it caused.
I'm sure, do they say in there how much overweight they were probably, what they were expecting on this cargo D-ring? I'm sure they overloaded it, just like everything, because I was in trucking and all that kind of stuff, and even with equipment, and they overload stuff, man.
Yeah, they did say it was overloaded. So it was overloaded, but this is the point that here's the D-ring right here. You guys see it?
Well, how they're just like loosely in there?
Well, here's one of the brackets. I zoomed in on it. The straight edge down here is almost all the time that is lack of fusion. That is a bad weld. So something happened in the quality control, and you know what happened. You know exactly what happened. These ships get rebuilt all the time and get changed, and what happened was probably last minute they're like, oh shit, we need to put these D-rings on here quick. Just throw them up real quick.
They didn't clean them up before they welded them.
Didn't clean them up, no preparation, probably didn't even have the settings right. Weren't following a weld procedure, didn't even look at it, just kind of like threw it up and squirted it on there.
Now, let me ask you this, you being a CWI and all, is there actual like weld procedures for like a D-ring weld down? Like on our trailers, I welded a bunch of D-rings on because like our first trailer I bought, it had no hold downs at all. So I welded all the D-rings on, but I mean, obviously, I didn't go by any weld procedure. I just, if it didn't break, it worked.
Well, I mean, that's how most people work, and it's typically fine on a trailer, but on something like this, a shipping vessel, where there's a lot of liability, they would have to have a welding procedure. They have procedures for everything.
Yeah, I mean, you would need the right tensile strength, the right, that's a lot of force.
Yeah. As far as like a car trailer, that's a different story. There is welding procedures. Hell, I could write one for you if you really want me to. But yeah, they would have to have a procedure in place to weld anything. A D-ring, especially something holding this type of weight, because you can see over to the right here, this D-ring, you can see the weld separate didn't quite break off, but the weld separated and the D-ring was slipping out. Yeah, so that broke right at the center of the weld. Your weld should never break. Your weld should be stronger than the material, unless it's designed not to be, which can be the case. But on a D-ring,
I've snapped a D-ring before on one of the trailers. But I mean, the actual ring broke.
Jesus God, how much force did you put on that thing?
I didn't do it. It was a renter. But geez, I could say that my bracket and weld did not break.
Well, that's not on you then. Yeah, that's on the D-ring.
But I mean,
usually those D-rings.
my D rings that I put on, they're rated at, I think they're rated at 4,400 pounds each.
Yeah, so they should be
And
drop forged.
And it's only a 10,000 pound trailer, so 4,400 pound D ring should be more than substantial for any corner of that trailer. You know what I'm saying?
I'd like to see that D-ring. You still have it?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see it.
All you gotta do is go down to Harbor Freight and pick it out.
No, I want to see it broken. I want to see why it failed.
Okay.
Mike,
I'd like to see why it failed.
I'll find it for next time.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Because I'd be curious to know, because if it's drop forged, then it shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And at 4,400 pounds, they would have to be forged, unless they're forgeries.
Right.
And if they're forgeries, they could have been casted. And I'd be able to tell pretty quickly with an acid test. That'd be, yeah, I want to see that. But yeah, so there were a couple other things that led to this fire, mostly about the procedure that they followed for strapping this stuff down. You know, they have certain procedures as to how to strap stuff down. Like, for example, this is not correct. You can see there's some space between the hooks and the D-ring itself. These aren't the proper size hooks. They said that in the NTSB report.
They look like a little bit small. That looks like a little bit small of a strap to be holding that heavy of batteries too.
Yeah, I would think so too. So there was a couple of things that they said here. Here's another one, same thing.
If the straps are that small and the D-ring still broke, that means the D-ring.
No, the D-ring, yeah, the welding was not right. Which that's a problem.
Look at the weld there. Look at how cold it is.
Up here?
No, well, obviously we're lagging a little bit. That picture there. Can you pull in closer on those welds?
Yeah, I can. It's a little grainy. You can see right here, this straight
Yeah, see how
line.
cold that is?
So if I was looking at this, I would look at this right here, and I would call that out. I'd need to see that in person, but yeah, I'd call that out right away. See, there's no way these were checked properly.
Yeah, it wasn't cleaned properly, and it's too cold. Like they should have been welding a little hotter than that.
But yeah, definitely, for sure. These welds are too small too.
Yeah, but I mean, they could have made that a 3-weld pass there, but still cleaning, you're not getting anywhere if it's dirty. Oh man.
Man, do you know how much heat that was carrying to do that mess? God dang. Yeah, that's basically it there. This is the cargo hold. This is how everything moves.
How they end up shifting.
Yeah,
Wow.
So I'd be rolling a bit. You know, one strap broke or one of the D-rings broke, and that set off a chain of events. And then next thing you know, things in severe weather were rolling around and bouncing all over the place, tip over, positive, negative terminals touch, and next thing you know, it's overheating the battery and falls on fire.
It's not good.
So yeah, moral of the story: welders probably going to be held responsible, but also whoever was quality control will also be held responsible.
Yeah. Good thing
It's
somebody
gonna
got to
be-
be going around looking at stuff.
Yeah, and they should be. You know, it should be in place. There should be inspection hold points for that stuff. You know, the only thing you really do with a weld like that is a visual inspection and maybe a mag particle test. But I'd be willing to bet they are more or less just visual. But a visual inspection would have caught, at least from what I saw, you would have caught all that.
Yeah, it looked like a worm.
So yeah, that's what I got.
Mike, are you ready? You want me to jump up? You go, Mike. Come on. You get to it.
All right, let me work on this picture sharing thing again here. Need my spectacles.
Safety glasses, man. I'm gonna get you a gift card at America's Best or something. I mean, Christ, it's like $70. I can get you 2 pairs of glasses.
Pearl Vision. Go to Walmart. Hell, anymore you can order glasses online with your prescription.
Yeah, if you have a current prescription. But Mike ain't got no prescription. He's like Milwaukee with the.
I did have the 1.0.
bifocal.
Now I got the
Feels
5.
about right.
Oh, so
that's what I
you
wear.
tuned in your
right.
prescription. I'm
So-
sorry, Mike.
Yeah, I tuned in my prescription. All right.
Yeah, this is interesting.
So what we're talking about here is more broken welds. Okay, it's a new Chinese car, and they did some crash tests, which is what they do with all vehicles. And the welds, literally right here. I don't know if you can see my pointer on the screen or not, but right here on the A pillar,
We can.
the welds broke as they were crashing it, and because
can
of
see
that, it messed up with how it messed up the crumple zone, because modern cars, why they're so much safer than older cars, is because they have these crumple zones, and they literally take the force and they project it around the driver in order to
Right.
try to keep the drivers as safe as possible, or passengers. Well, this, because of these welds snapping through here, it didn't allow the energy to be pushed around the driver. That, and a combination with the airbags didn't deploy with enough force, the crash test dummy still hit its head on the steering wheel. But a bunch of it led to, somehow they're still calling it a car that's passing the safety standards, but it didn't. It like it's
So you said the doors wouldn't
That's
open
wild.
either, right?
yeah. Oh yeah, the doors are supposed to, the locks are supposed to unlock in the event of a crash, and they didn't. So that would make it even more difficult for any kind of emergency services to try to get into the vehicle.
Sounds like a death trap.
Did they mention whether
What was
it's
that?
sold
Yeah.
only in?
They did. It was kind of confusing to me, to be honest with you, the way that they were going back and forth between the safety standards, where it's sold. I know there's many vehicle standards that they don't sell, like in America, because America has a little bit heftier of a safety standard than these other countries. But they were comparing it to an Australian safety standard, and the Australian safety standard was a lot higher. But I mean, I don't think you're going to see this in the United States. I hope not. But I mean, then again, we did have the Pontiac Fiero for a little while, and some crazy cars like that. What was that?
Yeah. Yeah, that was
I remember. But back then, I was young enough to think that was a cool car.
Well, they like to catch fire too, but
hey, they're still cool. That's wild. Did they say anything about why the welds broke, or they just?
they didn't. I didn't see a part where it went in deep enough that I didn't see it.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know. Of course, that's my CWI coming in me.
Yeah, but I didn't see anything that went into like explaining that.
Just how we have like the different standards and stuff. I went to. I used to work on street sweepers, so they sent me out to Chicago to do some schooling. So there's not a lot of people that work on street. I was walking through the plant and stuff doing a tour, and I noticed they had all these certain street sweepers that had like a different color engine in them. They were all like black, or they were like different than any other one, where everything was black on it. And I asked the one guy that was working there, I was like, what's up with the ones with the black engines in them? He's like, oh, they go overseas. They don't have to have all the emission stuff. So we have to paint them black so they're not used here. You know what I mean? They'd be easily spotted.
That's wild.
Yeah, they have to be sent overseas so they're not mixed up with ones that are meant for here because the standards are so different.
That's wild.
Mostly emission.
I'm kind of curious. This is a little off track. I'm kind of curious with. I know this is a little off track, but I keep seeing stuff on social media about how they're supposed to be changing the EPA standards and all, and allowing a lot of performance mods that were taken away for a long time to come back. I also have heard from, I guess I don't want to really mention them, but one of the bigger YouTube channels that I follow, he talks about how inflated car prices have been because of all these new standards, and that supposedly whatever's going through right now, they're going to take some of those standards away, and that should drop the price of cars drastically.
That'd be nice.
I would imagine so, because I remember when all that EPA stuff went in, and next thing you know, the price just shot up like $5-6 grand just overnight.
It's crazy what we pay for cars.
It's crazy, but it's a conversation I have with my father sometimes, and we talk about how a truck used to be a cheap vehicle.
Yeah.
Like a truck, is very basic, very cheap. And then like before it got popularized with the turbo and all, the older like diesel vehicles, used to be cheaper than gasoline. And it is, if you look at the process, it's less refined than gasoline. So
There was more found in farm equipment.
right, but then all of a sudden, all the big three started bringing out these diesels in these luxury trucks, and every guy that drove into working in the office had to have his F-350 6.0, and all of a sudden the diesel prices went through the roof, truck prices went through the roof, and like it's hard to justify buying like a new full size truck unless you're working it 24/7 because of
and what they offer. Now you got to get some big 4-door truck that has no bed on it, and then if you want to have an actual man's working truck, well, one that you can afford. It's not one of them King Rancho El Gato, whatever the hell's. You can't just get yourself a freaking truck with a big bed on it without paying more because you don't want a weekend warrior truck. You know what I mean? That's why I hurry up and bought that Colorado one I did, because it had the small suicide doors in the back and it gave me a little bit of a bigger bed. I don't want to special order a 6-foot bed.
That's why I bought my Colorado when I did, because I was looking at the full-size trucks because of what I do for work, and they were trying to sell me on a Silverado. And they would have had me sold if it wasn't for the fact that the same quality truck, so if I took my truck and put it next to a Silverado that had the equal stuff on it, it was $10,000 more.
Yeah, for what?
For the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
All it was a bigger body. It's the same engine, same transmission, same powertrain, same transfer case, same everything.
A little more leg room and stuff, but dude, I'm a little guy.
I'm not, but I fit in it. And the guy was trying to sell me on a Silverado.
You don't want to sit in the back seat, unless you're a little person.
I don't have to worry about that. I got 2 small kids, so. But he was trying to sell me on it. I said, okay, what's the price difference? He goes, well, that one's $52,000. I said, I'm not spending $52,000 on a basic truck. And I'm talking basic. My truck has nothing to it.
Like the Trail Boss Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
So it's the 2-inch. It's got a 2-inch factory lift. It's got the 3-inch or 4-inch wider wheelbase. So it's got a wider wheelbase, wider rear axle, lock and rear axle, and 4-wheel drive and low range and all that stuff, which is what I need for work. But it doesn't have any of the interior stuff. It doesn't have radar guided cruise control. It doesn't have the lane centering, whatever, super cruise.
Yeah, everything mine's I got a steering wheel. I know. I used to laugh at that as being a mechanic and stuff. I was like, dude, I don't know why people would buy stuff like that. It's just going to break. It's one more thing to go wrong. These automatic door shutters.
Or,
and here I am now. I got this thing. I'm like, how do I ever live without a steering wheel warmer? This is insane. Grab a cold steering wheel again.
You know what the one option I have? Cruise control. That was an option.
Yeah.
That's one option I can say of all the vehicles I've had, and even moving to Florida and driving up and down the coast, and I've never been a fan of cruise control. I just don't like it. So,
with all your watching movies while you drive, you don't use cruise control?
No.
I think that would simplify things.
I don't use cruise control. No, I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm just not a fan of cruise control. I'm like, I was actually looking it up for my bike the other day, and I'm like, why am I worried about cruise control on a motorcycle? I don't even use it in a car.
Yeah, I had it on my first bike. I had a 1975 Goldwing, and it was a GL 1000. It had a throttle lock, and I was a new rider. I'm like, what is this? And I was trying to use it on the back roads and shit. I was like, this is awesome.
I have cruise control on my bike, and I rarely ever use it.
It's just a throttle lock?
Mine's actually electronic cruise control.
No, I had just a throttle lock.
Yeah, this one's actual cruise control. That's a lie. I've used it one time, and that was to go down to North Carolina, and I just got tired of just holding the throttle, and I was like, I want to put my hands down. So I'm going down the highway like 80 miles an hour with my hands down my side, just kind of sitting there for a little bit.
Now I want one.
It's cool when you're going down the highway in a straight line, and it's not good any other time because for mine's sensitive. So if I'm in 6th gear, I got to be doing 80. If I'm lumping that engine at 1,000 RPM at 60 miles an hour, the cruise control is not going to want to do it. It's just going to keep shutting off.
Your bike I ride, 80 is not my cruising speed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
80's mine.
My bike cruises pretty nice at 80.
I don't go 80. It's not a problem with that, but it's not happy doing 80 for fucking 4 hours.
Yeah.
I used to have for it. I'm sorry, but no. Yeah, I've ridden Sportsters for the longest time. Old Ironheads with 4 speeds.
Oh, speaking of which,
They were
did you
awful.
get your new Sportster that I told you needed to buy? I sent you a message. I sent you a marketplace message today.
Oh
I
god.
found you a Sportster with white walls.
Is it $1,000? Because that's all I ever spend on Sportsters.
Look it up.
Is it $1,000?
Oh, no.
I need another Sportster like I need a hole in
Oh,
the head.
no.
Was it on the three of us?
I'm gonna go down there and sweep it up.
Oh, did it? What was the price though? See?
Man,
Did I
right
tell
up
you?
his alley. Right up his alley. You gotta
They
start
even have
watching
white
your
walls.
messages.
Yeah, I saw white walls, Sportster. I was like, that's Dave.
That
Yeah.
sounds nice.
The only thing you missed about it that I wouldn't like. I don't know. Can you see my thing? No.
No, it's
It says 883.
you can put a big jug kit on that.
What year
I
was
know
that?
where there's
Oh, yeah,
I know where there's
that-
an it.
I got one now that's got a big bore kit on it.
I know where there's an engine sitting.
It's
It's
a
right on somebody's
97.
workbench.
What, at my house? I got at mine? Yeah, I got 2 Ironhead engines just sitting on the workbench.
Yeah, exactly.
No problem.
They have homes.
They have hopes.
Well, one's a spare.
It can be adopted into a new chassis.
That was going to be the one I floated around and put on. See, that's the thing about like them old Ironheads and them old Harleys is you can't just take the engines and swap them out and stuff. I have a couple Ironhead engines, but I can't just throw it on an Ironhead frame and run that title on that bike because the engine and frame have to match because they both have the same number, the VINs.
There's this
Right.
tool called a Dremel, and it does really good at changing numbers and letters.
Yeah. So I've been riding Harleys a long time. And the thing about that is you better grind that thing down because they do a test on it, which you should know as a CWI, where they can pull the numbers out of the metal. All they do is they just rub this acid type nonsense or whatever it is on
ferrichloride,
it, and it
yeah.
brings the impression out and it'll give the original VIN number. So, but ideally what you have to do is if you buy an engine for a bike, you have to get a bill of sale and keep the bill of sale on you while you're running that bike like it's your registration.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. And I don't have no bill of sale. This is going to be my bill of sale.
I found it.
I got it at a swap meet.
Yeah.
Bob's Pull It Parts.
Yeah. Hey, in our area, that would be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Prove I'm lying to you.
Right?
Where's Bob? Well, Bob passed away three years ago.
I don't know. He's at a frickin' flea market. You think I hung out with Bob?
And his sister's cousin was selling it.
He was a one-legged guy at a flea market selling Sportster parts. Where do you think he's at?
That sounds like quintessential Lancaster County right there. Like, that's it.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Guy in my local Turkey Hill, he rides his Harley. He's got a soft tail. No legs. That's because that's backwards. The guy at my local Turkey Hill.
Yes, God.
Volume up. You turn the volume up on the on the Riverside thing.
No, the guy at my local Turkey Hill, he works there, and he rides his Harley Softail. Anytime it's above like 45 degrees, he'll ride it. It's a nice bike too, but he's got hand controls. He has no legs.
Oh wow! Do the little
Hand
wheels
controls.
come down?
No, I don't think he does. He's got prosthetic legs, but
He got no arms?
No, he's got arms.
What is he missing then?
Legs.
Oh, all right.
Jesus God.
I got lost in that story. I was just trying to picture some.
Quadriplegic riding a motorcycle.
I'm like, what
He
does he
looks
do
like
at
he wants
Turkey
to
Hill
go.
with no arms or legs?
Turn
Does he have
left.
like
He's a greeter. Security, they just prop him up in a corner.
He's got to pull the brake with his teeth.
I'm going to hell.
Anyways, I don't know if we can keep that in.
I don't think so.
No. So he has hand controls that he had a company do for him, and everything's hand control, everything, and even he suicide ships the thing.
Yeah.
The dude's
Yeah, I mean,
wild.
Yeah, that's what I like. Well, in the old Ironheads, I like having the having the shifter over on the right-hand side. And
That's what he's got.
It's easy. Then you get rid of one thing to do with your foot.
Yeah, but is it easy without legs?
Well, listen, I'm definitely not talking down on the guy. I give him props.
Oh, I give him a lot of props.
I bitch about getting on that Indian, and I'm like, get off, and I'm like,
yeah, no, he rides that thing to death. Well, the dude's awesome.
I was just talking to Mr. Rogers today about riding, and I was like, yeah, man, I said, that thing's not that comfortable. He's like, man, you look like you're comfortable on it. I was like, it's all just a look. So I am not comfortable on that thing.
Are you telling me that Mr. Malcolm's not the only one bike shopping this year? Are you going bike shopping for something more comfortable?
No, I'm not bike shopping for nothing more comfortable. I don't sell.
He rides hardtails.
I just
He's just bitching.
Huh?
Dave's just bitching the bitch.
Yeah,
He's not looking to get rid of it.
But I'll jump on one of them. I'll jump on one of them iron heads when I get it going, and it'll be a rigid, and I'll still ride it and bitch.
Yeah.
It just won't go as far.
I don't think you're taking the iron head all the way down to Skyline.
No way. No way.
That'd be
No
awful.
way.
You should
I'm
take
thinking
the
about
Cool
trike.
once you get down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take the trike down.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
I want to.
That thing's a death trap. I think I'm just gonna buy a new Springer front end for that thing.
Have you seen this trike?
Yes. Not in person.
I wasn't home, but he actually did drive it over to my house once to come see me in it.
Yeah, man. And I had it going about 50-some mile an hour down 272, and I'll tell you what, I felt like those could possibly be the last moments of my life. That thing is
Air under
sketchy.
the front tire, doing the wheelie the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a little mini bicycle front chopper tire on it with no brake. There's no brake on the front because that brake is to hold the hill, and it won't even do that, right? And then your legs are extended out in the air, and the frame's like in between, the big frame, but your legs are on these pegs extended out in the air, and your clutch and brake are on the feet. And then you got these handlebars that are like this, you know what I mean? And you're like,
Oh, man. I gotta make you some nice Z-bars for that.
and then the radio's back here, and I'm trying to get the radio, and and the shifter's in between your legs. So you gotta ride like this, and you clutch with your left foot, and take your left hand down and shift. And the guy that I bought it from, my one buddy, he's like, I rode it once. He goes, I could go from first to third. He goes, I couldn't hit second because I'm too big. He couldn't get the shifter in between his legs. He's like, it'll be all right. He goes, I rode it all the way back in second or third gear or something like that. I'm like, all right, man.
I remember the night I went and bought my bike, and I checked with Robinson if I could take it up to his shop so we can go over it. And I left my house, and I'd never ridden a bike quite that big before. I get on it. I get up my road and I go, and my road's straight for a little bit, then there's a twisty section. I go to turn and the bike's literally not turning. I'm
Forced it.
literally screaming at the bike. I'm like, turn, damn it, turn, right? Well, here to find out after I finally fight through it and get it up to a shop and we go look at it like a couple days later that weekend or whatever, both tires are flat. I had like 12 PSI in each tire. That's why I wouldn't turn.
You would have hated my hammer with that big rear tire that I had. I had to throw my weight at that thing in order to get it to turn. It did not like turning at all. I loved riding that, but once you got used to it, it was easy. But
Yeah.
I went from that bike to the bike I have now, which is Victory Magnum. I thought there was something wrong because that bike is so easy to turn. Like I went from the hardest thing to turn in the world to quite simply one of the easiest ones to turn. And as soon as I lean into a corner, I'm scraping my bags. And the first thing I thought was when I turned it was like, is there something wrong with this thing?
I scraped my foot peg one time so far. Following Dave the one morning to work.
I'm scraping. Oh, I scrape all the time. It drives me nuts. That's the only thing I don't like is how low my bike is. I want to get the air ride suspension so I can lift it up when I ride it. Because right now it sits too low. I mean, that exhaust gets hammered.
That's like I want to finish my bike off with my full poor man street clad look and put some hard bags on it, but part of me
I think it'll look
loves the look of the stretched bags, but then I'm like, am I gonna scrape them worse?
Yes,
So
guaranteed.
yeah,
Guaranteed.
look how focused Dave is, man. He's
Oh,
got like
because
that
I'm
look.
I'm on this. All right. Ba-ba.
I'm getting hungry. All right, I'm gonna get a snack because I'm hungry.
I can tell.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. This is your turn to bust on me. Thank God for editing.
Yeah. Smallish?
All right, I got it. Yes, it is. Don't say
You
that.
ain't got shit.
You don't see it?
Hang on.
There it is.
All right, good. Phew.
There
There's
it
my
is.
Indian. There's my Indian in the background.
Right in front of your shop.
That thing is so freaking long. Oh my god.
It's sketchy as hell, man. Look at it.
If you try to push it forward,
I
the
love
front
it.
tire just flops over to one side.
Yeah, it definitely got chopped.
You can probably still push it straight too.
It's easy to push around, and it sounds awesome.
Oh,
I definitely got. When I took it out, man, I got people were videotaping me, and you know, I'm ready to go buy a full face helmet. You know what I mean?
That's
Just so I think it's pretty cool. Death trap. So this is in Colorado. I'm trying to get the date here, October 2023, and apparently what it was is, you know, this was a coal train cruising down, and it was an I-25, I believe. And I got this article off of Trains Pro, just to give credit who actually had the article and stuff, and the pictures. So yeah, this train ended up derailing, which ended up throwing all the box cars off. And of course, you know, a tractor trailer was underneath it, and a guy was killed underneath the bridge right there, there where you can see right here where it there would have been a vehicle up under there, and it ended up crushing the guy. So under investigation and stuff, they found that there was a repair somewhere right around here on the bridge, or right around that area, and you know, the way they repair the train rails is through, what is it called, thermite welding.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a mixture of like it's aluminum oxide, and then they'll pick some other kind of oxide. Sometimes they'll use like rust or something like that, and it'll make really hot flame, and they more or less make liquid metal and pour it down into it, and that's how they form, you know. But with the measurements and stuff like that, with the repair that they did about, you know, I think it said like 5 months before that, they said it actually there should have been this special kit that the person used when the tolerances aren't what they're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And they didn't show a kit was signed out for that job, and they think that's where the failure was, because it just wasn't.
So improper repair.
The standard wasn't kept, you know, so yeah.
It's funny because we're starting to find in the welding industry in general, anything that's welded, the better we get at this quality control and quality assurance, the more crap we find.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of scary,
yep,
because we're starting to realize that, you know, 50, 60 years ago, or even, you know, go back further than that, we're starting to realize the stuff that was done back then that was acceptable, we're finding is not. And all our infrastructures, especially with railroads and especially with pipeline stuff, those infrastructures are really old.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the standards weren't the same. And getting to the point now where at that point in time, it was just, you know, lay the tracks down, you know, get 20 to 30 years out of them and replace them. Same thing with pipeline. Lay the pipe down, get 10, 20 years out of them, you know.
We'll make our money
That's
off
it.
of
They
it
weren't,
to fix it.
yeah, they're not looking for 100-year lifespan of this stuff. Now that we've been so reliant on it for so many years, we're starting to realize that we need to start replacing this stuff. It's getting bad. That's what happened to the Keystone XL line. That's what happened to a lot of the natural gas explosions that happened through the past couple of years. The train derailments that you're showing now, you know, all this stuff is just, it's coming to head, and we're starting to realize that we need to get on our horse and fix this stuff.
Well, remember a couple years back, by a couple it might be 5 to 10 now, but they started investigating bridges in Pennsylvania,
Mm-hmm.
and they discovered that many of the bridges around, because I think there was a Pittsburgh bridge or something that failed, if I remember the story correctly. I don't remember it exactly, but then they started inspecting bridges around and realized that there's a large number of bridges in Pennsylvania that are not up to par anymore, and that haven't been for a long time. Because I remember Holtwood Bridge, not far from here where I live, Holtwood Bridge shut down for a little while because of. Do you remember what I'm talking about, Dave, or no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fatigue failures.
Yeah.
Yep. The
Yeah,
sad part of it around here, where we live we have, I think, one of the largest numbers of covered bridges in the area, and they're not
Yes.
really restoring all of them back to covered bridges, I don't believe, which sucks because that's like, that's one of the cool things about our area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love the covered bridges. I have, oh my God, just around me, there's got to be 6 of them. I actually know a bike
At
run. They
least.
have a Lancaster bike run you can get on a website to do bike rides through Lancaster, and they have a covered bridge ride that goes all around my area, and it just hits all the little covered bridges, which is, that's awesome.
I
Is
think
that
it's
on the
like
mini
23
scooters?
No, 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 no.
I do want to do that one day just for fun.
Have we talked
Oh,
about
dude.
that? Yeah, I think we have talked about that.
Can we podcast it?
That would be funny though if we got all of our
Actually,
buddies
that would be
together.
pretty.
What do you
That
think
would
if
be
we
pretty
get
cool.
like some GoPros or whatever we need and go rent some scooters up here in Strasbourg and podcast it? Just run around.
That would be pretty cool.
I'm
Or
getting
we just get on our motorcycles and podcast and go run around.
Yeah,
His
but that's
motors-
too obvious.
his
I know,
motorcycle
it's not
probably
as
still
funny.
tore apart.
It'd be funny if we all went to a go-kart tracks and podcasted it. Had
Yeah.
GoPros on our helmets and shit.
Like, in our T-bucket go-karts.
Oh,
That none of us.
He just appeared. It's just you and me. It's just the fat kids now. We lost the skinny guy. So I want you back. I want you back. I wish I continued on with the whole recording just on my cell phone and not all this stuff that I'm strapped down to, wires. Because then I could just randomly sneak up on Dave and
Oh, that would be so
stuff.
funny. You should do it one day. Just discreetly set up your phone instead of doing this stuff, and just like, I don't know, hide the camera or something, and just like open his back door and sit next to him. That'd be funny. Or knock on the window behind him. Don't do that. He probably has a shotgun next to him.
I was gonna say he's always got windows right behind him in that area.
aha! Can you hear me?
He's back.
All right.
Yep.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, I'm back.
Okay.
All right.
Anyways, what now?
All right. So I got this other article I wanted to share.
We're gonna have to do a lot of editing on this one.
I know.
It's all good.
All right, so let's share this bad boy. All right, can you see? Can you see? Let me know. So another high school project. So
Ooh, it's got Lincoln in it.
well, this is Texas. This young lady, Danielle Brock, at Cy-Fair High School, and this is Fabricator News. She got a pretty nasty looking helmet. Oh, she got a nice helmet.
Yeah, those are nice.
So for her high school project, her high school senior year project, she built a 16-foot livestock trailer.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
And she has in here how she explains how she did it. She's joined our agricultural mechanics program. So that's pretty wild. I mean, let me pull the pictures up here, but you can see, look, you can see the trailer here.
It's a nice looking trailer.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Oh, hold on a sec. There we go. Her there welding, I guess. Yeah, look at that thing. Yeah.
She put some work into that.
Yeah, think about just the experience that she learned making that. Now, I'm sure she didn't do it just on her own. I'm sure she had help and stuff, but she probably had to come up with the blueprint of it, the design of it, or went off of a blueprint of it, because it's not like you're just going to build that thing. That's pretty.
Yeah, how many hours she polished that thing? Jeez.
I know.
And the amount of welding that she had to do to get this thing together.
That right there is an expensive trailer.
Right.
It makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
It makes you wonder who financed like all the materials and stuff, whether her parents had to chip in or whether there was like some kind of grant or something. You know what I mean? That's no joke.
And if I
That's a mostly
that's either stainless on the sides or it's polished
that's
aluminum.
That's
Yeah.
thousands of man hours. Holy crap.
well, it's her high school project. She did it.
That's woman hours too.
Yeah, wool man hours.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that's hardcore.
That's impressive. That really is impressive.
And you see the inside. It's pretty. It's got all the doors for
Oh,
the.
my word.
That's nice, man. It's got lights inside of it.
It's all painted up and everything.
Hell yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well done.
Look at that. I mean, you gotta
Wow.
give her serious props for doing all that. Even if she does have instruction and stuff, that's that's insane.
Yeah, but like the application of doing it. Like,
Yeah.
That's the problem that most people have when they start a project is doing it. she's out there and for a high school senior project, no less. Not some 30-year-old that needed a trailer. A 16, 17-year-old girl that just needed to do a high school project that probably, being on a farm, they probably needed a trailer anyways.
And it looks like she got a prize or got something, for doing it. She got like a package. She got a little torch kit. She got some welding wire, sticks. She got a helmet, Miller helmet. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
But you can tell the first picture, man, I got taken afterwards. That's after she's been out there welding. She looking hardcore now.
Yes.
She's been out in the field. She's like, yeah, look at this sweet little girl right here. This girl's like, yeah, I've been out in the field. She's like, you're all jerks, and I'm better than all of you.
Well, what's funny is, speaking of projects like this, my wife had asked me before, and I've had other people ask me before, I build almost everything that I have. And a lot of the times, I could buy this stuff for the same price that it cost me to build it. And I would be less time, I wouldn't have such a headache, and less effort. And like, why do you build this stuff? I'm like, well, it's the satisfaction that I built it. Like I could have went out and bought a flatbed trailer. Instead, I took a free trailer and built it into what I wanted. Now I have this little 4-foot by 4-foot trailer, and first thing my wife said is, why are you working on this trailer? Because it's mine. So when I'm done with it, I want to show it off.
Do you still have that one that looks like it's on steroids?
Nope, Mike's got it.
I know where it's at. It moved from his salvage yard to my salvage yard.
My wife's gonna love hearing that.
You should buy the trailer. It's sitting in my salvage.
It's on my list.
Wait, what do you have?
My buddy's got it's a car. No, it's nothing.
I don't care. I'm kidding.
It's like a hillbilly.
Well, I might.
It's like a hillbilly car trailer.
If I came up with another trailer, my wife would shit. I'd probably divorce.
It's pretty sketchy.
That'd be it.
I can get away with coming home with more trailers. Now, if I brought home another truck frame right now, I would get shot.
Yeah, probably.
Another truck frame would definitely get me in trouble.
In the neck.
I'm getting too much trouble.
I do it to myself. Because you can't help it. You go from, especially learning to weld and getting into the industry, you go from somebody who, at least when I was younger, even when I was, pipe welding, go from somebody who, doesn't have a lot of stuff and just kind of keeps themselves, to collecting pretty much anything metal that I can find.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, it's I don't know what to call it other than a habit.
I do. I have a bad addiction to collecting, especially doing metal art and stuff, man. I'm like, I have all these. I have like a card catalog thing from a library, and you open them up, and like one is like hinges. So they're like brass hinges, antique hinges, homemade hinges, basic hinges, and latches. And then I got one that's all broken stained glass pieces to do stained glass. I got one that's all electrical shit, like solder and this, that, and the other. It's, oh my God, I got bins for ball bearings and bins for chains and bins for Jesus. But it's still a mess somehow. There's still shit everywhere.
Mine's relatively, I spent the last 2 weeks cleaning everything up, but I've got a ton of exhaust tubing, and I've got 2 frame rails from a fire truck. Yeah, let me tell you how heavy those bitches are.
Oh, I know. I used to work on fire trucks. Yeah.
I put them in. So I went to, Phoenix Fire, which is near us. The guy retired and was auctioning a bunch of stuff off.
Oh, my picture's going again.
I went in, and I think I bought like $100 worth of steel and mini tools and stuff.
This was that auction you were showing me stuff on?
Yeah, where they had a ladder truck go for sale for like $3,500, which I convinced my wife that I bought it. So I went there. Yeah, I see that. I went there and picked up all the steel. Well, when I went and picked it all up, I have a picture somewhere. My truck was loaded as much as it could take. I was on the bump stops. And the guy helped me load it with forklift and stuff. And I got back home, I got all the exhaust tubing out because I bought a ton of his exhaust tubing for like pennies on the dollar. And there was I went to pick up this one piece of what I thought was exhaust tubing, and it wouldn't budge. I couldn't get it to move, and I couldn't figure out why not, if it was stuck or something. I ended up actually looking at the end after I took all the tape off. It was 3-inch, schedule 160.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and it was a 10-foot section of it that was in my truck. So I had to go get my tractor, drag that thing off, and even with my backhoe on it, would still like was light on the rear end as I was pulling it out of my truck, and I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with this? That was one thing. I'm like, he gave me the paper. I asked him if he had the paperwork for it, and he said, let me look at my files, and sure enough, he had the MTRs for it. And I was like, I know the guy. So I went down to a local guy that I've known for a while that does fabrication for pressure vessels and boilers and stuff. And I told him I had a piece of 3-inch 160. And he said, I can't do anything outside of the MTRs. I'm like, you're in luck, dude. Gave him the MTRs. I think I got like $600 for that one piece of pipe. And it's worth way more than that. But I mean, I salvaged it.
That's great.
So that paid for everything. So now I got a pile of 4 and 5-inch exhaust tubing, stainless and aluminized. I've got a bunch of little tiny like electrical tools and stuff. And then I got 2 frame rails.
I get a lot of stuff. Like,
I don't know what I'm gonna do with them.
like when like people I know, their dads or grandfathers like retire or go into a home and they clean out their houses, and I get like they're like, hey, do you want this? And it's like, dude, I got so much antique tools and weird. I had Mike working on his fairing with a hand crank drill from like the frickin' 1940s.
I was there like this.
I got like 3 electric drills. I just wanted to see him doing it.
I thought he was screwing with me when he said it at first, but sure enough.
That's funny. That's awesome. It's just cool though.
Yeah, it's cool.
I haven't. I've gotten a lot of hand-me-down tools, not quite antique, but somehow between everything, I have like 16 sets of jack stands
Wow.
from people handing.
And you
I have like
got 2
16
lifts.
Yeah, 2 lifts, 16 sets of jack stands. I mean, I have a 1 set of jack stands that they're, I don't know, I think they're 20 ton or something. The things stand 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
When they're all the way down.
I used to use them.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't think I've ever worked on anything here that I'm near heavy enough to need those. But, you know.
I'll put some pipe on them. I use them as pipe stands.
Craziness.
Speaking of trailers, I finally sold my truck bed that was sitting on that trailer, the one that I rolled over on the TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
So now now as soon as the snow clears, that trailer is free and clear, so I can start building my ultimate cabin cruiser to take back and forth to the cabin for the side-by-side and the four-wheeler.
Nice. About time.
Got to do that, and then I got to put, some axles underneath the trailer I got from you. If I don't use it, I might use that for a truck bed. I'm still debating.
Well, I
It
think
might be
It's
the
pretty
best.
stout.
What was that?
It's pretty stout.
Yeah, it might be the new bed for the 250.
I use 2-inch Schedule 40 and 1-inch Schedule 80 pipe as the frame for it. That thing's stout.
Yeah.
I think maybe this spring we once it starts getting nicer, we can open the garage doors and work. You guys come up to my shop and we'll bring that twisted exhaust system up and we'll set it up on the bike up there, and then we can probably by then I'll have the thing running, and that'd be a cool on-site project we can do.
Is that going on
easy
your
to
on your Harleys, or is that going on your Indian?
Oh, not the Indian. No, the Indian needs a whole different type of exhaust. That'll go on one of them iron heads.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know which one.
That's what I measured it for.
Whichever one. It'll be.
Then after we get that, we can start designing how to put the turbo in the VTX.
Yes.
There's a
one.
guy. So there was a company that made a big bore kit for the VTX 1800 to put it up to a 2-liter,
Jesus.
and the company went out of business. But this guy in Australia bought all the kits. It's a Wesco kit. Wesco. If I'm saying it wrong, I don't know. But anyway, Wesco, however you say it, yeah. But he was on the VTX one Facebook group today, and he said, "Hey, I have 6 2-liter kits if anybody wants one."
How much are they?
How much?
I don't know. I gotta ask him, but I'm
Yeah,
scared
you
to
have
ask him.
You do have to ask him though.
Even if I wouldn't put it on, I still kind of want to have it,
Just so
You know
it's
what I
in your
mean?
garage, you can say you have it.
But I don't know. 1800's a lot. 2-liter. There's one guy that's got a 2-liter kit on with a WRX turbo, and he's supposedly putting down to the tire 169 horsepower.
It sounds actually kind of reasonable.
I saw a video today.
That's
This girl took a small Briggs and Stratton type carburetor, and she made an intake that fit on a Chevy 350 and she
Oh, I did see this.
she actually got the thing. She had to open the needle valve all the way up, and
Yeah.
she could get it to idle and respond with the throttle and everything. You had to have
Wow.
you had to
Wild.
she had to have the choke on wide open. But I was watching, and I was like, she's like, yeah, and she showed how she made it and stuff, and this little tiny little mini carburetor was on there running this Chevy 350. I was like, get out.
Getting 35 miles to the gallon.
You can't rev it over like 2,000 RPMs, but you know,
Yeah, right. Hey, it's running.
you probably do it. You probably have to bore it out, bore the jets
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Good stuff. All right, I see Franchetti's winding down. Mike's cracking his neck. I'm like max
Yeah,
from
we're-
over here.
no.
I'm like,
I'm looking at the clock and it's telling me it's 5 minutes to 11, and I'm thinking 3:30 is coming really fast.
why do you have to wake up at 3:30?
Yeah.
Oh, you're on first shift.
I leave. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
All right. Well, that concludes today's episode. I'm glad we got some good talking points in. That was actually pretty fun.
Our reception.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, reception's a little crazy for all of us, but that's all right.
Yeah.
But thank you everybody for watching, tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next episode, whenever that may be.
See you later. Bye.
All right.